Motherfucker, that's fascism. Don't give me that shit. Look like y'all can do whatever.
You watch your mouth when you talk.
I'm
not no kid, okay?
I never said
and I didn't disrespect you.
Dude,
I did not disrespect you.
Dude, you're disrespecting us. Dude, you're disrespecting the church.
You disrespecting the church. You're a big cussing at the church. Yeah. You cussing at the church.
No.
Don't resist. We'll get you out of here, Abel.
What did he do? Why is he getting arrested?
We'll get you out of here, Abel. Go on, man.
Okay, Abel, were you living here in Flint during the beginning of the water crisis and throughout the water crisis?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
So tell me, when did you find out about it? How did it affect you? And what you think about it now?
Yeah.
So you can just have a little leeway.
So my perspective is a little bit different because once the switch to the Flint River was made, I was still in high school. And obviously with having a younger mentality and just stubbornness, immediately when they switched to the Flint River, everybody knew like, oh, not to drink it because Flint River's nasty. It just had that stigma. So moving forward, nobody my age really drank it like that because of that stigma. But obviously there were people that still were drinking it. However, slowly more and more, I noticed more and more changes, whether it be the smell, whether it be skin reactions when I take a shower, etc. So yeah.
What kind of impact did it have on your life, your family's life, etc.?
Aside from health issues, and I mean, we'll never really know the health issues, and as well as the mental issues because you can't even test that. The biggest thing that is going to have to be recovered from is trust, and that's the biggest thing. You have absolutely no trust in your government because they'll lie to you. Especially when you say we don't want to switch to Flint River, they'll deliberately do so in an authoritarian manner. So.
Well, who decided that? Whose fault is this, as far as you can tell?
I mean, obviously, everybody says it's government at all levels. I mean, which is partially true, but obviously, it goes right back down to the emergency manager system as a whole, and essentially, Snyder is a part of that. I mean, we tend to point blame at certain elected officials, but its reality is this is an entire system that has not been set up for actual real representation within the community.
Okay, one of the things I noticed when I was driving through is the massive amount of abandoned buildings, the devastation, uh, and you mentioned earlier gentrification. Tell me a little bit about how that water crisis might have aided in that, and exactly what is going on with the gentrification.
I mean, obviously, here in the water crisis, it originally pushes more people out, and even before that, Flint was already suffering due to failed trade deals like NAFTA and GM pulling out, and all these other like economic imperialist policies. So aside from that, what the water crisis did continue to force people out, and you have more abandoned properties, and with economic development that you see happening with people with big corporations coming back into invest in Flint because property values are so low. They're using it as an opportunity to really gentrify neighborhoods. For example, Atwood Stadium down there was only sold for $1 during the emergency manager quote unquote era to Kettering University. Even though they redid it, realistically, the community could have bought that for $1 and could have came together and had it open to the community 24/7 rather than have it become a private entity.
What about in this immediate neighborhood here, besides the stadium? Is it impacting the houses? So, because I see a house here, a house there, so on. Over there, there's a house. There seems to be a lot of houses missing.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily just have the camera just face it, and you'll see like there used to be double the amount of houses on this street when I first moved here. It would have been in sixth grade, which would have been about 9 years ago, around 8 9 years ago, offhand. And already there's only 6 houses here compared to the dozen that used to be there. Not even a month ago, they tore 2 houses down, just where I'm looking at right now. And it's just continued. I mean, honestly, within a few years, essentially their plan is to completely get rid of this neighborhood. But even behind me, the that open lot that there is, it used to be an entire neighborhood just with nothing but houses, but it's completely devastated. It's just completely a flat lot now with just grass.
What are you doing for water?
Right now, um, I have to rely on bottled water. Simply, I mean, there's really no. Unfortunately, there's no way around it. Um, Luckily, my mom just remarried, and he's a little bit more. He's quote unquote middle class, even though there's obviously no middle class. Um, but so therefore, we can slightly afford a little bit more, like putting a filter on our water, which would at least help minimize the effects of like for showering. Of course, I obviously still don't trust it, and I still refuse to drink it. Um, and obviously we are barely able to afford the water bills unlike most people, so I've been blessed in that aspects, yeah. But unfortunately most people are still suffering in Flint, especially with a 45% poverty rate, etc. So yeah.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that people will have to buy their water, but at the same time, they're paying for water to the city of Flint also.
Yeah, and exactly, yeah. I mean, it's it goes right back to just the system that just continues to abuse us and oppress us, because most people can't afford the one, they can't afford the water to pay for water they can't even drink, and then they can't afford to get bottled water, and then you're talking about transportation and all these other aspects that poverty holds us down in. So realistically, they're continuing to oppress us, and if we refuse to participate in this system, um, they'll take away our house and they'll continue their agenda to gentrify us.
So now I understand Governor Snyder um, used the emergency management system to transfer the water from a good source to a source that ultimately was discovered to be a harmful and deadly source. Uh, and did it in poor and black communities. You think that was deliberate, or is that just an economic reaction to people that's trying to make money?
If we look at the system as a whole, I mean, when you're talking about economic imperialist policies and symptoms like poverty and disaster capitalism, it affects minority communities the most. So obviously there is a lot of class issues related to it. But when you talk about class issues that are class issues, pretty much to put it blatant, class issues affect minority communities most. To be just as simple as that. Um, and obviously Snyder targeted minority communities with emergency management. I mean, yes, it is class, but at the same time, we can't ignore the fact of the race issues related to this because they are more than prevalent.
Okay, any final comments for our audience?
Um, I guess more so just what you see with going on in the water crisis is just is what's happening throughout the entire nation right now. How they're attempting to privatize every single aspect, whether it be water, whether it be education, and how they're wanting to take over our community and take away the community's input and take away our voice and take away our power. And they're using it through bureaucratic measures, and pretty much it's just more economic imperialist policies spread through capitalism. So yeah.
You know, it sounds really huge and unsolvable. Is there a way in which we meaning people down on the ground, poor people, people of color, etc., is there a way in which we can do something about this?
I think there is, and I think I mean, me personally, because of my politics, I think there's a lot of leftist theory that goes into it. As far as taking the community back, obviously we can't continue to rely on this existing system that continues to enslave us. That's for one thing. We have to use a way to actually take the community back, and become autonomous, and not have to rely on all these. Um, the system that is focused on individualism and profit. We need to be focused on community, and building our own power.